Alrighty, let's get this going. I've been putting out my review of the new DmC, as y'all may know. Of course, it's not because I wanted to, mind you. It's because my life is really fucked up. I sleep about 5 hours a day, and I just can't seem to catch a fucking break for shit. But nonetheless, I'm gonna push this review out, so let's get her going. For all of you nostalgia people out there, I'm sure you know that DmC is not the Devil May Cry that we all knew in the past. It's a brand new Dante, a more badass Dante, a more gritty Dante, a more emo, I want to cut myself Dante, and I want to talk about my feelings. But I won't talk about my feelings because I have to be strong like a man and why do I think that's the story of a Twilight movie? Anyway, I need to stop procrastinating. The story of the new Twilight, I mean the new Devil May Cry, is that you're not really a demon hunter. You are instead a guy with some not so happy family memories growing up as a child, and you're up against what I can best call the grown-ups. The story of the game is actually pretty good, and it keeps you interested. Notice that I said that the story was good. I didn't say that the characters were good. And the reason I didn't say that is because they aren't. Dante himself just isn't likable. I figured he'd be a badass, you know? But he's more of a I'm gonna win the game because I'm supposed to ass, if that makes any sense. And to all of you blaming Ninja Theory for the new look of Dante, it's not their fault. They submitted like 10 different designs to Capcom, each one resembling the previous incantation of Dante that we all know and love. And Capcom told them flat out, "How dare you give the fans what they want? You whores! Damn you! I want you to fuck him up! Fuck him up! They will still buy it!" And fuck him up they did, and I'm sure buy it people will do.
Money owns this town. Money.
And moving on to the levels of the game, some of them are just outright amazing. The majority of the battles take place in Limbo, which is a altered version of reality where things bend and twist at random. I thought this was a very cool way to make the game feel alive and, unique rather than just corridors of death that you have to progress through. The color palette of the game is meant to be a gritty red and black storm of doom, which I guess is good if you're afraid of a variety of color. I do give credit to the soundtrack of the game, liking the heavy vibe of the game, and if music can motivate you to do better, this game is proof. Sadly, the part about you doing better kind of makes me question the combat choices. Or the combat isn't bad at all, but one thing that pissed me off is that there's no lock-on to enemies. And if going off topic here, is it becoming gaming fashion just to have your character flailing about like an idiot? Lock-ons provides precision gameplay so that you can attain the maximum level of effectiveness during a clusterfuck of a battle. My friend called me and told me apparently that you can switch enemies by using the L3 button, but supposedly this only works with guns. Why the fuck does it only work with guns? At this point, any game that doesn't have it just makes me think that the game doesn't have it because it's just too fucking easy to beat the game. And when I say easy, I don't mean in a traditional enemy sense per this particular game. I mean in the style sense right here. In previous games, I felt accomplished when I got the S rank for style because it was hard for me to do. Now I can just press the button a couple of times and poof, an S rank. Oh, look at me. I'm so good. S rank. I don't know. Maybe people like this. It just made me feel like I accomplished nothing by doing nothing. Anyway, moving on with the combat. Light and dark attacks will be your bread and butter, and how you switch between them will determine your effectiveness of the game because you will be constantly assaulted by both. And although I respect the work that went into the combat here, because I think Team Ninja, they're a damn good solid company. It's just that it seems like a de-evolution from previous games where I was able to switch fighting styles. Sure that I couldn't do it as fast, but it did give the game a little bit more variety in that sense. So, sure you may like your new girlfriend, but you still remember that crazy bitch you dated in high school who had more tricks than a 5-star magician? So is the game any good? Yes, it's a very solid title. It's made by Ninja Theory. Check their resume. They make solid ass games. They always have. At least to my knowledge, I enjoyed the hell out of Heavenly Sword, and I enjoyed the storytelling aspects and the combat of Enslaved. I know it's hard for me to give a game praise, but this is a solid title. It just has weird choices. Why are the characters so unlikable? From my understanding, gamers tend to project themselves as the main character in most of these games. But who wants to be this guy? I don't understand that. I've read up that Capcom plans to release the original Dante skin as DLC because it's Capcom and Capcom loves DLC. And honestly, that shit can't get here fast enough. And although I'm sure it's gonna be like $5 because after all this is Capcom we're talking about. But enough of me dragging this on and on. It's time to give the game a score. And Devil May Cry from me, the reboot, receives the score of a 2. You all have a blessed day. I'm gonna try to do more videos.
Money